You are now tuned in to Bad Deals Only.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to Bad Deals Only.
I guess.
Yeah, arbophilia, yes.
Is that what it's got originally?
Yeah, that's when you wanted to make love to trees.
It means you want to fuck trees.
That's where I was going with it, but
This is why you should learn Latin. This is why you go to fucking law school and learn Latin.
Yeah.
So you can do shit like this.
Let's rewind to neophyte. Maybe. Okay, so you hate technology. We were talking about how awesome Claude is.
Do I have a...
No, you can't have one because then you would know about the bad deals.
God, love it.
Yeah.
I love being in the
I
dark.
do look really skinny now in this. This is exciting. No hat today, first time.
I'm so used to the hat.
Yeah.
You have a good glow. You still got the Florida tan on you.
I do. So I was sick before I went to Florida. When we came back from Florida.
Really sick when you came back?
Wife got sick when we got back.
Okay.
Wife finally got better. I immediately became sick. Last week, no voice. So here we are on the delayed shoot of Bad Deals.
I would say in the real estate world, you kind of got sick at the right time, if there's a right time.
There was a little lull because of the snow.
Correct. The
Slammed.
Snow has really not stopped us for 10 years. I guess it's a 10-year thing.
Yes.
Because we've been really moving through and doing well. But no, everything from listings to people not doing inspections.
This guy's like ripping a check up right now. You're doing a mobile deposit, dude?
Ripping off the bad deal.
Look at that. Thanks, buddy.
Well, you ripped off the underrated.
Underrated.
That's why he's a producer.
But you gave him the bad deals. In fact, it's the middle of the page.
Yeah, but you said
No.
you just didn't want to see the overrated, underrated.
No, this is recorded. Would you like to reference the tape?
Back to the tape.
I'm only up top now.
Yeah, which is
read.
basically no
Don't
shit.
really need.
Yeah. So
okay.
I stand by my decision by not giving
It's okay.
you one.
No,
Probably the
Yeah,
correct
okay.
Yeah, and at least now Nick, the producer, has a copy. Maybe you can pass that to him. Yeah, nice job, Nick. You're killing it. Killing it today.
Right, there we go.
Yeah.
So I think we've certainly had inspection. I've had a bunch of septic issues that got delayed, and they couldn't do the perk testing because of the snow. Yeah, so you can't even get a quote. So now we're delaying to get quotes.
So my understanding, if we want to talk some shit,
Yep. What do we got?
get it? Septic joke.
Understood.
Love it.
Yep. Porta potties. Pumping.
Yeah. D-box. Talk about the D-box.
Love a good leaching field.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Yeah. A leaching field. Still don't know how any of those actually work, by the way. I
think it's all gravity.
Please don't tell me.
I think it's gravity.
Please don't tell me. I don't want to know. It's my understanding that you could close in the winter months. The lender will be okay with you closing in the winter months, maybe with a holdback.
Correct.
If you don't have a Title V.
Correct. But you need...
You would need a bad Title V and a plan to correct in escrow.
Yes and no. So Title V is necessary in Massachusetts. Not necessarily a passing Title V, just a Title V. So the buyer has to know about the condition. So Title V can be...
Wait, hold on. You're saying I can just go sell a house, get a failing Title V, and just move?
Buyer can accept a failing Title V. The standard is... No.
Okay.
The standard is to deliver a Title V, which can be a fail, passing, or conditionally passing. So conditionally passing, they'll say, property 1, 2, 3.
Bank will be fine with that.
Probably not.
Might want to see something in escrow.
Correct. Because a lot of them will say you need to do at 1, 2, 3 Main Street. You need to replace or do something within the next year, or 2 years. Yeah. So usually we don't love that.
The D box is always failing.
Good counsel will put in unconditional passing Title V. So in order to get that, which the buyer and the bank want, you need right now the standard is 2 quotes.
That's impressive shit.
Two quotes. So a lot of the companies are saying I can't give a good quote because I don't know the soil content. If they haven't worked on the property before. So now we're just even delaying that quote process. But yes, normally 2 quotes, 1.5 or 2 times, we can get it done. The other thing that happens is a lot of sellers don't have the money to pay up front. So most companies will accept from the escrow agent, send us your bill.
Settlement.
Send us your bill, and we will put that on there. And now it's, running with the land and encroachment on the property. If they don't pay, mechanics lien, so we'll pay it off at closing. You'll get the money on X date.
I had a client. I learned that when we usually, especially if the house is old, If you don't know what a Title V is, it's a Massachusetts law that you have to get on your septic system, right? So make sure that
you must not deal with it very often.
We don't
being a city
here,
guy.
But when we do like the Reddings, the Wilmingtons, Andovers, which we do, I don't know, 10% of our deals up there. It's almost always up. At Linfield, Peabody, often very weird. Like Linfield's riddled with a lot of septic.
Certain neighborhoods, because you'd be like, oh, that side of town's all sewer. Right. It runs off a main street or something, and then the remote ones don't.
So we did a deal in Wilmington where original septic, 50 years old. I was like, we were going to want to like maybe get this tested before we list the house. So we knew it had failed. We knew the whole thing was going to have to be replaced. So we disclosed it.
Other thing, Seth, is a new septic system, Title V, good for 2 years. And if you pump it twice,
extra year,
good for 3 years.
That's
so
right.
Get it done early. Why not?
Why wouldn't? Why does pump it every year? Make sure it's not full of shit.
But like I get where you might not get a smoke certificate if you're like, hey, we're not closed in 60 days. We have to do it again. Right. But a septic, like you're going to close the next 2 years. Why not?
Yeah, think about it again. I mean, I guess I would always want to stay on top of it because I would want to make sure that I'm not like leaching poop into my pool or something like that.
Yeah, the Cape is weird. They only start the process, at least the physical reconstruction process, after they're under PNS. That's like their standard.
Why?
No clue. Provincetown, the only town that I know of in Massachusetts where the buyer prepares the PNS and sends it to the seller.
Oh no, that happens in Western Mass.
Well, I said Massachusetts. I don't consider that West Massachusetts. Sorry.
What is it, New York? Vermont?
I think it's. I actually believe. Well, producer Nick looked this up. There's a portion in the southwestern part of Massachusetts that borders New York that if you call 911, like no one shows up. Like there's no one actually has jurisdiction over it. No, I think there's like no it's like a weird lawless society that you could get into.
Wow. You are just always. You should actually. I'm going to start calling you Claude.
I know a lot.
By the way, if there was someone whose name was Claude that I met in real life, he would look like how you're dressed right now. Just for the record,
I put on my Claude outfit.
That is
my friends. But when MapQuest was around and the first navigation came out, the best one was TomTom. They used to call me Nick for my navigational skills. So I was pretty good.
Not for any other reason.
No, I just get around.
There was no like just good information that you provided, kind of like maybe a modern day ChatGPT. You do have a lot of hot takes.
I'm a good Trivial Pursuit guy.
Oh, dude,
trivia.
I can see that.
I played a lot of sports. The only thing I don't know is like, who won the Heisman Trophy in 1978, like that type of weird stuff. But like general knowledge, I'm pretty good at.
I used to live with this dude. His name was Mike Pendleton. He knew every college athlete, like where they went, like deep sports trivia. So like he was always in the trivia lineup because he'd be like, oh yeah, it's this. Like, oh, how did you not know that? It's like I had like a little very small niche of like a couple movies and like U.S. history.
The sports guys are crazy.
I'm pretty useless.
They go down some rabbit holes.
Yeah,
like that,
real estate trivia, nailed it.
Crush
escrow. All right. Anyway, so we went down the rabbit's hole there of septic. That was interesting for a minute. Still got this nice cough going on.
I was going to say back to you being ill during the lull in
lot of
February.
Snow. Fast melt, by the way. Thank God.
So
that stuff went away.
Called it on the number, at least in my house. My wife said, this snow's not going to leave till April. And I said, by St. Patrick's Day, we will have no snow in our yard. And legitimately, one of our snow piles in our driveway lasted until the 16th evening. We had all that rain and stuff. And then 17th, gone. Wow. Nailed it.
Wow.
2 points.
I love that
on the button.
I love you. Good old Winthrop. The snow disappeared weeks ago.
Well, you guys probably did, that ocean effect. You didn't get the volume. I'm up on a hill in Milton, so we get the wind coming in.
You have all of the you get the drifts.
Yes,
the drifts.
We're at elevation.
I'll tell you what, the inventory tight still out there in the market.
Extremely. When's that going to pop? You give me a little insight.
Eminently, it's going to pop eminently.
It's like 100 Winthrop listings coming right on.
I have 15.
Okay.
In the pocket right now. It's psychotic. So I'll tell you this: if you think about first off, I'm telling all of my sellers, get ready way earlier, bring your home to the market way earlier. I think last few years I've been way late, let the clients dictate the timeline. And I said, first off,
can you give me what's your way early, way late window?
Okay. So every listing that I've gone on that we've signed, I said, we need to act like we're bringing this thing to the market in the next 10 to 14 days. Like you have to leave town immediately. Whether or not I actually hit the go live button is a different story. We will go day by day, week by week. And obviously everyone's doing something different. I have clients moving right now, moving to New Jersey. They're waiting for a house to be built. I have clients that are going to move to New York City and rent. I have clients that want to sell their condo and stay in Winthrop, but they have to sell to buy. Everyone is ready shot. The video's done. Like I could post that thing on Instagram and I could list that house tomorrow. All of them.
Everyone's in a position to move if they need to. Yes.
Nimble.
Got it.
Because, and we saw it happen last week. If you're paying attention, weird stuff going on in the world right now.
What happened?
A little bit of war going on. Not good.
Where'd that happen?
Not here currently. Yeah. But no, it's bad, right? And what does war do?
Unpredictable.
Some would say it's very predictable.
Well,
have you seen the same clips that I have where Mr. Donnie was just, I'm going to bomb that place.
Well, yeah.
And then we just took over Venezuela.
Well, yeah, that one was tough because he said, come and get me. And we did it. I feel like he called us out on that one.
Back to real estate.
Yes,
back to real estate.
But I think right now what's unpredictable is we have a stock market that's reacting. We have gas prices that are reacting.
Yep.
We have employment numbers that are reacting, all of which have affected our interest rates that were on this awesome downtrend.
Yep.
Then we already know the treasurer's leaving in May.
Yep.
New guy said, I'm bringing him down. But
Yep.
does he have that ability against these odds in the
Well, the
current
reality
conditions?
is war very inflationary, right? We have a lot of raw material opportunities, happening in the world right now. And so all of that stuff's going to drive inflation up, stock market down. So market down, money into bonds usually, which should help rates, but things like oil and war, super inflationary. So you saw rates go up on the worst 3-day tear up since I believe last April. We were in the high fives and we were well on the way to, I think your prediction of 5.5. I said 5.875.
I still think we can get to 5.5.
We sniffed maybe almost a 5.875 and then bang, right back to 6.5 real quick. So for that reason, we've been telling our clients, you need to get ready. Not obviously war, but like the market's unpredictable, right?
Man, the Bastille boys, they're coming.
Like the market's just unpredictable. And last year and the year before that, when someone contacted us in January and said, hey, I might not, I want to move, but I want to move in April. I think we're like, great, we'll put you on the back burner. Let's stay in touch. These people we're bringing them as if to go to the market. This is allowing us to do a ton of off-market trades, which is nice.
My next question. So you have 15 in your pocket, the classic pocket listing right currently, not active.
Yeah.
Do you bring your buyers there first? Do you contact other agents in the area?
Yes.
What is our strategy for getting the info out there before it becomes quote unquote public?
Yeah, this is a great question. So for one, we absolutely get our buyers there first. So one of the benefits of working with us, we have a team, we have a lot of buyers, huge database. So we're definitely sharing that with the team, and they often are mostly working with buyers. So they have buyers for these properties. Kind of just a cool benefit of potentially maybe actually selling off market. That's why we want to shoot it early.
Sure.
Number one. Number two, we're going to start the conversation with other realtors who are great to work with, have strong buyers, have the buyers. Like we're hitting up the top agents in those towns that do the most buy transactions and tactically trying to find an off-market transaction. I think that's just a good way to build great rapport in a town that maybe you're not in, or hit up and build a strong relationship with other brokers. So we're sharing those too, but obviously making sure our current pool of buyers is our current pool of sellers is being met by our current buyers.
Perfect.
And then the good news with that is like, hopefully they can go in contract and have a long close, set up the loan the right way. Maybe those people who are buying it are contingent on selling. That allows the off-market listing there to go to the market now, with somewhere to go, and everyone's just got to be okay with those contingencies. We can figure it out. But I think more importantly, like just bringing the stuff to the market early before everybody else brings stuff to the market. This conversation started because of what's happening with inventory. When is it going to pop? Okay, so rewind. For every weekend, for 5 weekends, we just had snow. And so that really hurt, I think, a lot of people bringing homes to the market. It's tough to shoot homes in a blizzard. It's tough to show homes in a blizzard. And then every weekend it actually snowed. So open houses were probably a little bit less attended. Big ski community, great ski season.
I was going to say, I feel like people are just out of town too.
Yeah, for sure. Like way more than ever. So, it's funny. I had a listing on We're Doing This Deal Now. I had this listing on in East Boston last winter or in the fall. Someone who, having their second kid, wants to upsize out of the city, out of their condo. And, it was on at 550. We had very little activity. There was 9 months of supply in East Boston at the time. And, open houses poorly attended, yada, yada. We pulled it off for the dog days of winter holidays. And we always had a plan to go back to the market in the spring. It got to the point where I was like, hey, seller, we need to bring your place to the market like this week or next, because there's nothing on the market like your condo. And, last time you were on, there was 42 condos like yours. We did that cash deal right at the end of the year. Yeah. That thing sold for 600 before, 2 years ago, brand new. Our client bought it for $525. This was a condo that 3 years ago sold for 500. We were trying to sell it for 550. Crickets. We put it back on the market last week. We had a dozen showings in 24 hours.
Awesome.
We had a very busy open house. We took an offer the same day of the open house over list price on that same condo, right? So we did do a little bit of a price correction, thinking that maybe that would really get it sold, but it's back up closer to what the original price was. And that was all just a circumstance of no inventory available.
Well, I love that breakdown, because I think most people are like, what, you take a couple of pictures, you put it on the market, like someone buys it, like what's so tough? But it really is how you market it, who you're marketing it to, the timing. We say all the time, you only need one buyer. And who's that best buyer out there, because and unfortunately consumers now get really cold feet when they see a place that's been on, hasn't moved. Sure. They assume they're the ones making the bad decision.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like we, I don't want to say I was shocked that it went so fast, but like, it was just nice to like watch that trend and then have a real plan. And, that I think that's what sellers are paying for and all of this, the market expertise. But for that reason, everyone we met with this year, shoot it now, get ready now, so we can make that decision instead of being like, oh, well, let's get started and we'll be able to put it on the market in 2.5 weeks. Like, no, because then last week you saw rates go from a 6 to a 6.5. And like, listen, they could be at 7 pretty quickly. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, that straight doesn't open up. Like, we're going to be in, I think, tough place energy wise and inflation wise. And who knows how long this conflict's going to go on. It's not good. It's not good for the markets in general. It makes buyers uneasy too.
You doing these deals too, knowing like where it came from is nice, because you can now tell your buyers, and they're like, well, I saw that place sold. And you're like, well, here's how we got there. Right. It didn't get there. Like, we put it on in 72 hours and it sold. Like, we had to come off. We had to come back on. We did it because of the lack of inventory. We kind of made urgency amongst the buyers, and that's why this sold. So like, hey, on this deal, we're now competing with 42 other units. We can take our time. We can slow play this game.
Yeah, that's the thing too that I always find interesting. Almost probably a problem in my personal business and how I work with sellers. Like, I think a lot of realtors last fall, being nervous about losing the business, would have pushed very severely for a price correction. The market's different. We got to go down. We got to go down to 5.25. We got to go to 515. Who knows? Look at how these units are selling, and they're selling for less. And I meant this with all of the transparency and warm-heartedness. I was like, I don't give a crap what you do. Like, you're not going to hear from me that we need to drive this down. Sure, it's always supply and demand. And I don't know what supply is going to be like in the spring, but guess what? The last 10 years, supply in the spring's been limited. So if I was a guess, it's probably going to be limited again, and everyone pulls their home off the market.
A bigger buyer pool.
100%, especially for that product. Yeah. Being a new entry-level 2-bed condo in the city.
Because you have that lease that ends in August or September.
100%.
And you're very active, yeah.
So, it allows us to just be a lot more flexible where like if I told somebody like, hey, you might make an extra 25 grand right now if we put your house on the market. I know you're not ready. I know you want to move to New York in June, but like, would you take an extra 25 grand and move now? And like literally clients are like, oh yeah, I would. Right. And so, and listen, some would be like, hell no, I can't do that. I have kids in school, whatever. Like, I think having this conversation in the listing appointment now has allowed us to present a much better swath of options to the clients.
It's all about options. Cause I always say like, I'm not here to make decisions for you. I'm here to give you the most information so you make the best decision for your scenario.
Right. Yeah. And I think the other thing, what I was going to say that's maybe a flaw is I think too much, just like some realtors would push for that price correction. I almost often don't push for that price correction. Like I have a client right now. We threw their multifamily on in the city and fully tenanted. You know, we serve the tenants with eviction notices, like termination of tenancy, just because the property's being sold. Like they're good tenants, like it's all good. But like I told them, like, you know, it's a 2-family in Dorchester. I think an owner occupied person is going to buy this property. Yeah. It's a nice place too, and so why don't you serve them, because an owner's going to want to live there. And if an investor can walk that back and say they can stay if we want, but and then we put it on, and then it was like it snowed for 4 weeks, and I was very clear on my price, and I appreciated this in my seller. He's like, "Hey, don't just tell me you can get this price. Like I'd sell it for less if I had to." And I was like, "No, this is the price that I really think we can get." And ultimately, I think when I've worked with clients in the past, I'm kind of like, I kind of hold that price really firm because that's what I believe, like almost like a price preservationist.
Sure.
When the reality is not every seller is just like needs the price. You know, they want to sell for a ton of different reasons sometimes. And so like, it was funny. The client was like, "Hey, if you want to move the price down, you can." I go, I don't think we need to do that. And he was like, "Okay, good." But like, you know, I think he would have been very okay with it. And I like never even asked, you know,
different motivations.
Yeah. So it's so interesting. But anyway, inventory is going to break, I think, imminently. As long as people aren't like super spooked.
So what do you tell a buyer? Because now we know inventory's been low. Every expert you talk to is going to say historically between, you know, the second week of April and the month of May, you know, the end of May, we're going to get the most inventory. So if something comes out that, you know, it checks 7 out of 10 boxes, are you waiting or are you grabbing it?
Yeah. I think it really depends on the buyer's motivation, right? So if you're the buyer, well, let me just directly answer your question. If something checks 7 out of 10 boxes and those other 3 boxes aren't checked because it's probably not in your budget, because these things are going up $100,000 to $150,000 over asking still, depending on the community. The reality is what you can afford is 7 out of 10. You just haven't come to the realization that that's the case yet.
Got it.
Okay. Because the second you write your offer and you lose, and it goes, this just happened. We wrote an offer for $750,000. The home went over $800,000. Now that's the top of their budget. Okay. But they really like this house with 18 other people who wrote offers on it. Okay.
Wow.
The reality is that house that you liked, you cannot afford. And you just haven't figured it out yet because it was priced at $700,000 and you thought you could get it. Okay, so once all those homes close at $815,000,
it's now valued at 8 or
that's
more.
It.
Yeah,
that's it. And oh, by the way, at least 8 or 10 of those offers were probably over $750,000. Okay, so once that thing closes or the next house hits in that neighborhood, the reality is all the prices are just significantly up now. So what you have to really understand is 7 out of 10 is just what you can get. So to answer your question, should you jump? Yeah. Listen, you don't need to buy your forever home as your first home. If I never bought my first house, I never would be in the house that I'm in now. Okay. And I think it's very hard with like, we were talking about cancel culture earlier, like cancel culture or like Instagram, HGTV. It's very hard to keep up with the Joneses in kind of a shitty house. Okay.
Sure.
And
or it doesn't fit your vision.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not, no, the house isn't bad, guys. I'm saying, I think that's bad. And I think people are thinking about it the wrong way. They need to buy the house and they need to figure it out and hang out for 5 years and do the 5-year plan.
If you walk through a lot of houses, they are not all HGTV.
The vast majority of them are not HGTV. Listen, I have to throw something that's $1.5 million on the market in Reading. It's a beautiful home. I don't know if it's still HGTV, but it's a very, very well cared for, beautiful house that someone's going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars over list price for.
Wow.
There's no question about it.
Just because of the zip code there?
Just because of the zip code of the school. Is a big house, 3,700 square feet, perfect layout, updated kitchen.
Got it.
Super clean, good systems, good yard. It's got all the stuff, right? So, but yeah, I think 7 out of 10, you better buy the house. Now, if, and that's like, if you're like the renter debating on re-signing the lease, like suck it up, let's do it.
Sure.
If you're the downsizer or the upsizer or
you have leverage.
Yeah. I think you have the ability to be patient.
Okay.
Right. And listen, statistically, the best time to buy is the back half of the year when all of the inventory is on the market. Now, most of the smartest sellers put their house on the market already. So it might be 9 out of 10. It might be 8 out of 10.
Sure.
And that's because it's not the stuff you really, really want, or it's not move-in ready or whatever. But,
and to keep on this question and not to keep going down this road as a Seth interview, but
I like it.
But what do we like? The 3 things you need to have. I feel like a lot of people from my experience, especially friends who are like, I'm looking in Reading.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're looking at houses in Billerica.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy on these apps now to make that map just keep going out and out. And you're like, it's only 6 miles.
How cheap this one is.
It's only 6 miles this way. but really it's not what you ever want or wanted or is going to suit your needs, like with a commute or your family or the school district.
Yeah. What was the question?
No, just so what should people really be like? These are the non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Like let's not leave this neighborhood or this town or this size house.
Yeah. I think it's tough. This is such a tough one to answer because I don't really understand it sometimes how clients come up with their criteria. Like we have a client that one of our agents is working with. He's like he would do like Malden, Melrose, or Quincy, and I was like, and so I said, wants to be on the train line, needs to get to the city every day. Yeah. And they were like, yeah, that's exactly what he's looking for. I go, that's but those are like 2 very different places to live.
Agreed.
Right. So like I think it's hard for a broker to help you hone in on the best places to live in Quincy at your budget, or like checking those boxes when you're like so bipolar in north and south.
Seen brokers kind of push to be like, hey, I know you're looking for a 4-bed in Burlington, but I got this 3.5 bed in Wilmington. It's like, well, okay.
I think that's very reasonable, but I think that's back to the previous question. Why do people do that? It's likely a budget thing.
Agreed.
Right, because Burlington's nice and expensive, and Wilmington, Tewksbury, not Tewksbury, it's Tewksbury,
correct,
and Billerica, they're cheaper, and so I think people want to be in those different communities. But like if you really want to be in Milton, but maybe you can't afford Milton, maybe you end up in Hyde Park or Quincy.
Yeah,
I just like I think that's more realistic because that's area and like town you want to be in, or maybe you have friends and family there. It's almost not like this, hey, I would do Danvers or Rockland, which we've had clients do. Yeah. And I'm like, that's huge. I don't understand. Can you figure it out, please? And I think that's on the realtor to help decipher. So I do think that it's very important. I mentioned this to the gang yesterday in our conversion huddle that we hold every Tuesday. It's your job as the broker to be very nicely but ruthlessly blunt with your client. Like, oh, I want XYZ in ABC. Like, well, hey, you're going to need $1 million then. You can't do that on 750. You need to be looking here.
So I guess, do you start with wants and then you go, your price point needs to be this, or do you start with price points and tell them what they're going to get?
Yeah, I think we let the client kind of go through that. Usually when we're taking somebody, it's a lot.
Well, say you had Nick Nardone from Missouri, never been to Boston, moving for work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I got $1 million to spend. You now kind of have to be like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So ready?
It gets you this. It gets you that.
Let's walk this back. We'll do a quick role play on this,
Sure,
maybe,
okay, great.
and then we're gonna pivot into bad deals.
sounds
Cool,
good.
because I like this, and I could do it for another hour, but this podcast will just never be anything more about this. All right, so if I'm intaking you, like we met on ChatGPT,
On Claude. We met on Claude.
On Claude, man. I guess I have to start teaching Claude how to recommend me.
We met on Claude.
This is a problem.
met
This
on
is a
Claude.
business flaw. All right, so we met on Claude, which Claude, if you don't know, geez,
Go meet him.
what a guy.
Take him out for a drink.
This guy I've been bragging to my wife of like, I stayed up late with him last night, dude. I've been up late last few nights with Claude, if you know what I mean. So, I would say, hey, Nick, cool. It's, great talking with you. So I'm moving here for work. That's awesome. What do you do for work?
I'm a lawyer.
Awesome. Probably going to be in the city at least 4 or 5 days a week. You go to court. What's the deal?
Transactional. I'm actually going to be in-house at a company. We have an office in town, but
Okay.
we also have a work-from-home policy.
Sweet. Cool. Do you plan on working from home or do you want to be in the office?
It really depends. I'm going to kind of figure out, kind of the office culture there. Like currently I go into the office, but it's a really easy commute because I live close by.
Okay, so what I'm hearing real quick, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you're probably going to need some work from home space because God forbid you move here and you're unhappy with that work culture. You might be changing gigs pretty quick, but you're probably going to want to maybe settle into some more time at home, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have been working with this team, over emails and virtually, but yeah, I think in general, I want the option to be able to work from home.
Cool, that makes sense. I think a lot of people want that. So, all right, and you mentioned something about easy commute. Is that really important to you?
I mean, yeah, I'm doing it potentially 5 days a week, and it doesn't need to be walking, but I wouldn't want it to be extremely difficult or long.
All right, so just real quick, tell me what difficult or long is. Is that 10 minutes? Is that an hour?
I think over an hour is going to be.
That gives us a
lot.
lot. That gives us a big area to kind of focus on. Now, obviously, you're moving to Boston. Do you? I don't want to assume you're a single guy, married guy. What are we doing?
Married. Have 2 children.
Okay.
We're currently, right now, we have a 3-bed house. And we're a little yard, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want any less than that.
Wouldn't want any less than that. Okay, cool. So, time out. You just like knocked off a lot of areas. You realize that, right? Like if we're playing the Guess Who game here,
okay. So good. This is good though,
right? I don't know your budget yet in this hypothetical scenario, but you basically just said you need at least a 3-bed. I'm gonna start to get to the kids here in a minute. Probably at least a 1, probably a 2-bath. You need some work from home space.
Yeah,
and without budget, and you need a little yard. I mean, unless we got a couple mil, we're probably not in the city.
Well, I mean, you're going to tell me that,
right? So, that's just like in my mind.
Sure.
Like, even though I like to keep it light, like, hey, Nick, we just met each other on Claude.com, right? So, like, what's the deal? Like, who are you working with here? Like, because that matters too, right? So, all right, cool. How old are the kids?
5 and 3.
Dude, I got a 6 and a 3-year-old.
It's amazing.
Son turned 3 yesterday. St. Patty's Day.
How'd that go?
It was good. We hit up Nova in Malden. Fun spot. We've talked about Nova in the past.
Nova's amazing. It's one of my favorites, but I don't even care if the kids like it.
I got a good Nova idea I'm going to share with you.
Okay.
Are we
going to brand the recliners with our names on it?
We should. Do we is brand the right? We're going to bring like an iron.
No, co-brand. Like we're going to sponsor the recliner section.
That should be good. All right. So we got to at least have a 3-bed, probably a little work from home space. Young kids probably want an extra bath. Yeah. If we can swing it.
Extra meaning like more than one?
Yeah.
Definitely want more than one.
Okay.
Yes.
More than 2?
I mean, hey, wherever you can get me.
Yeah. We'll get to price here in a minute or so, Nick, but like what other things does this house have to have? Like great kitchen, an actual home office, home gym? Like, tell me.
I'm not the handiest guy. I work a decent amount. I'd like to not have to come in and take on too many projects, but like, some lipstick stuff, I'm happy to do in the future.
Yeah. Shameless plug, Nick. We got a ton of vendors. So if you needed to turn something around with random projects, paint,
that would help.
Flooring,
we're
moving from out of state,
we're
man.
new to town, so we don't know anyone.
Yeah, I know how tough that can be. So we'd probably we can help with some of that stuff as you transition. Okay, and so you've really opened up a lot for me. Here's the question: when we find the right house for you, you're gonna pay cash, or you're gonna go through a bank?
We're gonna do some financing.
Great question, by the way.
Gonna do some financing, but we have a large down payment.
Some financing?
Yes. Some of the purchase price will be financed. Yes.
Yeah. And what's a big down payment? What does that mean?
We have, we're selling our place here. We'll have
cool.
we'll have about $400,000.
Nice. Okay, cool. And so from a actual monthly spend, or everyone's probably gone on Zillow and started to look at homes. What's the price point that you've kind of stayed in? Really good down payment, by the way. Like, you're going to be top of the pile.
Yeah,
when it comes
so
to
we wanted to keep the mortgage low because we have one of those COVID mortgage rates. Initially we were thinking $1 million, but we could probably go up to 1.1 depending on if the property was good.
Cool. All right, so we're at the point where, since you're not really from town, what I'd probably recommend is a few towns either slightly north or slightly south of Boston. I think south of Boston is going to be maybe a little bit more spread out than north of Boston. I think south of Boston comes with a little bit more traffic than north of Boston. So there's a few communities. So anyway, time out. Like that's kind of how I would hone in on it a little bit.
I'm going to say, I have some colleagues that live north of Boston. They seem to like it. So I'd probably start there.
Where do they live?
They are in Melrose, Linfield, and Beverly.
Okay, cool. So what I'll tell you just off the top from what you told me budget wise, I think Beverly is going to be a tougher ride. It is on the train.
Yeah, I believe he takes the commuter rail.
Yeah, but you're going to max out at your peak, not fun commute.
Got it.
Okay,
understood.
Just keep that in mind. Understood. What does that mean? Beverly's cheaper. That's how it works. I'm sure that works where you're from too.
Sure. Okay.
Right. Linfield and Melrose, both amazing communities. Going to be great for the kids. Melrose a little bit tighter, so smaller lot sizes. Very, very competitive real estate market, but so is Linfield. Okay. And both of those places, I don't know how much on your very short list, by the way, that you're going to get at that budget. Unfortunately. Okay. It doesn't mean there's homes not available. Melrose is interesting, where like everything gets listed for like 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 on like Zillow and Redfin when you're looking. some reason they still sell for 1.1 to 1.2 to 1.4. You can get a good house over there. Last deal I did over on Melrose, I have one over there right now, went $186,000 over asking last week, cash. Okay. A little bit of a lower price point though, and needed everything. Okay. But the last house I sold over there in one of the better neighborhoods and went $280,000 over asking. So it's very competitive over there.
Wow.
So is Linfield. But listen, we've sold $700,000 houses in Linfield and there's $5.5 million houses in Linfield. So I like those two communities. I think we should just start there. Like I would just delete the whole South Shore of this.
Sure.
Let's look in those three communities, especially because you have some friends and family there now. And I think you'll have to decide, is Beverly too far or not? So Nick, when are you in Boston next?
Next weekend.
Okay. How long are you in town for?
3 days.
Okay. What I would tell you, if you have any free time at all, go get lunch or dinner in those communities. Okay, and just spend some time in Melrose. Turner's is downtown, great spot. Good if you like seafood. There's a really cool area. Plus, you're from Missouri, so the seafood probably not as good.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah,
not
so like if you're a
a
seafood guy, I'd start with Melrose and Turner's. It's the closest to the city. Also on the train, by the way, easiest commute of all. Linfield doesn't really have like as much of like a downtown area, but there's something called Market Street. It's like this huge community, kind of like outdoor mall-y feeling like.
Okay.
It's better than that though. And then Beverly's a little bit further out. If you can spend some time just piddling through town, even if you just go on Zillow and look at what your budget gets you and you just drive by those homes, pop in some open houses, I can meet you there. We can meet for coffee or lunch, whatever. But that's where I would start. And you can kind of report back and be like, I like this community. Okay. And I really want to just hone in there.
That sounds good.
You know what I mean? So anyway, that was fun.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's good. But it's almost, I'm in real estate every day, but thinking about what all of the boxes you would have to check if you were coming from out of state. Because then we start getting into school districts. Are they going public? Are they going private? All that stuff.
The reality is when
resale,
Yeah. I do tell people like it's really, really tough to, if you have to be in a bidding war and bid your house up, it's tough to regain that in the first couple of years. You got to really settle into that for 5 years or something like that. So, but yeah, anyway, that's just kind of how we narrow it down. Kind of a very natural conversation. And I think it's a lot easier for me to let you give me a little bit.
I don't need all the secret sauce, but at what point are we working together at the beginning of the call, at the end of the call?
At the end.
Okay.
At the end, again, we met on the internet. on Claude.
Claude.com.
So at the end of all of that, I'd say, hey, Nick, you probably want to like, I just met this dude on the internet. Like, why should I work with you? I'd give you a little bit more team history, blah, blah, blah. And I'd say, Nick, just to let you know, like, I want to let you know how I get paid in all of this. I basically get paid from you when you buy a house. Don't worry, we're going to ask the seller to pay it through all of the documentation that we do, but I only work exclusively with clients. So, I don't want you out here, hitting up another realtor. We do all this work to kind of intake you, give you the expertise in the area. You found us online. We have all these good reviews. If you think we're a good match, I'd like to work with you. I can send you basically it's what's called a buyer's agency agreement. It's a couple page contract. We can make it good for a week. I don't care. So you can at least get your feet wet and feel good, but I do have to have that before I can help you out. I got to be in contract with all my clients. And then, listen, if you don't want to work with me, just fire me. But start with a short term, and then we usually
awesome. It sounds reasonable. It's not this lock in for next 18 months.
Don't worry, we don't charge you a retainer or anything like
like those crazy lawyers.
Yeah, they're nuts. They're nuts. So, but yeah, that's literally what we do, and we walk through how we get paid, and we have people sign up.
Awesome. Okay, no, that seems great.
Yeah, I agree.
But not too pushy either. I feel like some people, it's like you can smell that like blood in the water. It's like you got to sign this right now. Like I had a
client recently say, "Hey, no, I don't want to work exclusively with you. I'm going to actually try and work with 3 different realtors at the same time." And I said, "Well, good news. You only have to work with 2. I'm all set."
Well,
and he was like, "What do you mean?" I go, "I'm not interested."
But
I'm
I get it.
it's
like what other value are you getting? I could see if it's like, hey, you're my Winthrop East Boston expert. I'm also looking to buy a place in the Cape, or like if that's like the difference.
Different story.
But if we're just,
but this is happening a lot. We talked about it yesterday on the phone.
But what happens? I find a place and then I just like call the 3 of you, and I'm like it's like a dating show now. Like,
yeah, this is not good for anybody. And I just told him, I go, hey, I appreciate you letting me know that. I just want to let you know I'm no longer interested. I only work exclusively with clients. If I didn't make that clear, it's my apologies. But like, you got to understand, I'm going to dedicate my time. Like, I don't get paid unless you use us.
Sure.
Like, just to be clear. So what I'm not going to do is go do work for you for 2 to 3 or 4 weeks for you to say, oh, sorry, I started using somebody else. Like, I'm all set. Like, I'm busy. And I just don't need to do that. So if you change your mind, let me know. And then they backtrack and they're like, well, what do you mean? We can't, so you're out? And I go, yeah, you can pick me or you can go pick one of the other 2.
Was there any more caveats to why they were taking that position?
No, they weren't ready. They were, kind of taking their time, didn't want to do something until June. I said, that's great. You can waste someone else's time. And they actually stopped and were like, no, never mind. We'll just work with you. I was like, oh, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that.
But no, I think, again, that money hungry attitude is it's palpable to that consumer. And they're like, wait a second, like, am I losing out here? Like, why is this such
scarcity?
Yes. Why are you making me sign this thing right now? And why is it for so long? And why is it exclusive? Like, what am I losing out on? Instead of you being like, hey, like, we're both professionals here. Like, I just do it my way. And if you can't fit in that mold, like, sorry, like,
it's crazy. Like,
and I'm here if you need me in the future.
All these other industries would never like work with multiple people or like do all this free consulting. Like you would never in a million years ask a doctor.
Oh man, I was gonna say, imagine you went to like your physical and then you went to follow up with another doctor and then
like what are we?
Then you got medication from a third doctor.
What are we doing? What are we doing? We're getting into the bad deals. The bad deals. So this the headlines of this one: seller jacks up the price by $7,000 3 days before closing.
Not in Massachusetts, Seth. Not in Massachusetts.
Which, by the way, I wish I remembered more of the context of the TikToks I was sending you. She's a good follow, Christina Martinez.
Yes.
She always just has controversial takes, but it's all Florida nonsensical stuff. On or before, that's what it was about.
Yes. Which,
get out of here.
I actually think it's like,
that's ridiculous. All right, so just for background, producer Nick and the world who's listening. The whole world's listening, Nick.
And Claude.
And Claude is definitely listening. ChatGPT probably isn't.
Yeah, no, he's probably sleeping right now. Probably taking a nap.
He's such a bum, dude. So there's an attorney in Florida who basically was ripping realtors on the open internet, stating that you need to stop writing closing on or before a date because it implies that you can close before the date. And so allegedly there was some scenario where without any communication, we were like, we're trying to close today and the loan docs weren't ready. And then the time eclipsed and then the seller sold it to somebody else. What a preposterous scenario. The breakdown didn't work.
And obviously if you're going to use on or before language, which ideally we would not use, especially in a state like Massachusetts, but we would put a mutually agreed on or before date, and usually what I put in, especially when I have new construction where, we got this foundation in the ground, we're trying to pick a date.
Yeah,
18 months, a year out. We're saying, on or before February 1st, but not before December 15th or something on a mutually agreeable date. So or I toss in other caveats like within 7 days of having the
certificate of occupancy.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But that was a off the rails.
And then they
fact
sold
pattern.
it to somebody else, man.
Yeah, not happening.
First off, why weren't any of you just picking up the freaking phone?
And who's marketing this random person that just bought it? Like they were waiting in the wings. They were
I'll take it. Yeah. We'll close tomorrow. Like completely preposterous. You just hit a nerve with some language, and I want to just quickly debate it and get your hot take. I don't think you and I have ever talked about this, but unfortunately, I'm not crazy. I'm a market expert.
Sure.
And so I have read pages upon pages of case law regarding this topic.
About?
Mutually agreeable PNS language.
Sure. In what language? In the offer?
Contact. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is, I've had this debate with several realtors, and this is my opinion, which I believe is backed by the old LexisNexis.
So I actually know the case law. So we got Milton versus Tilton, which is
what a name. Couldn't get a different name in there.
Actually, I'm
Ozo versus Slozo.
No, Tilton's actually another case. It's Milton v. Tobin. Tilton's another case.
This is in the Vineyard or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. So
read the whole thing.
Yeah. So most of it is where. So it's who.
Is it weird that I read that?
No, it's not weird. It's no. You're educating yourself. That's great.
It was long.
But the nuance is the buyer trying to make them perform, or is the seller trying to make it perform?
So what we're talking about, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, is I think there's a controversy that still exists and is coached constantly by a lot of big real estate companies, Keller Williams as an example, that in every offer to purchase, in the additional terms, it should write subject. You should write as a buyer or a buyer's agent, subject to a mutually agreeable purchase and sales. Okay. On the seller side of things, I think that should not exist.
So on the seller, so basically the way the law currently reads is you cannot compel a buyer to sign a purchase and sale. However, if a seller tries to not sign a purchase and sale or tries to back out of the deal when the material terms are in the offer, so it's not some just like random offer that has like, $1 million sometime in the future, I'll buy your place. The court will rule that a buyer can get specific performance. However, a seller cannot force a buyer to deliver a deposit. So the buyer could lose their offer deposit, but not be forced to pay the extra. But a seller could be forced by a buyer for specific performance. And specific performance just means honor the contract. And the reason why you get that in property is because property is unique. So you would never get specific performance on a 5 Series BMW because they'd say, well, go buy one over there. If it costs you more, your damages are the difference. But in property, you cannot have those easily ascertainable properties be found for similar prices. We can say, let's go buy the one down the street. So you can actually force them to sell what you bargained for because it's unique.
So in all of that, which was a very good explanation, I heard that
you read.
I heard.
Who'd you hear this from?
So the point would be, if I'm a buyer and I want to make sure my contract is as enforceable as possible and my terms are in my offer to purchase, it would be foolish of me to write in subject to a mutually agreeable
Correct,
PNS.
because the seller could throw in some crazy language that says, well, now we don't have material terms here because the material terms are going to come in the future, of which we're both going to agree upon. Right. You want to say the totality of my terms are in this agreement.
Yeah. So it's so funny. So we never write that, but yet I would tell you, I think 70% of the offers that come in say that.
But you know why, Seth? Because most people are buyers trying to potentially back out of the deal. I get a lot of soft buyers that like throw this offer on where I try to teach brokers
There's so many contingencies
I try to
already.
teach brokers this day one. An offer is a binding contract. Stop pretending it's not. Stop saying we'll negotiate that. your home sale contingency in the P&S. That's not going to happen.
I used to be that guy. We stopped doing it.
It happens.
But I'll tell you,
but you get it because you're making them happy for a moment, but not making them happy overall.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's going to come to an head.
Yeah, we did that a ton in COVID because we just wanted to set the hook and see if we can figure it out. And it would be worse for the seller to go back to the market as buyers.
Understood. Yeah.
But now, obviously, primarily as a listing agent, I'm a little I'm obsessed of this concept. So the reality is, though, with an inspection law that is now in effect, I think there's a lot less of a reason for mutually agreeable purchase and sales to be in your additional terms because you can just leave from the inspection.
You have an out. That's a legal out instead of like a
ambiguous bad
correct.
faith
I
out.
don't like this.
Yeah.
We're doing professionally clean, not broom clean. Because you can legitimately go, then you should have put that in there.
Right.
If that, people forget. In my standard, it's as simplistic as it is if you would be upset if it didn't happen, it should be in the offer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said.
If it's something you just wish for, then we'll try to get in the P&S or I'll try to have your broker negotiate it afterwards. But if it's something that would make you upset if it didn't happen, put it in that offer.
I just remembered something that's very funny to me. And it's,
do you think anyone else we might be talking to would want to hear it?
It's currently ongoing, but I'm going to share it anyway.
Okay.
Because I just really don't care. So I recently did a deal. We did a deal together.
Oh, am I involved in this? Okay.
You're not. Well, I don't think you are. It's so dumb. But I'm gonna spill the tea.
Okay, let it out.
What's the statute of limitation on this? Shit just closed in February.
Well, I mean, if it's closed. I mean,
ready. Let's go.
The defense to defamation is the truth.
Ooh, I love that. I need that on a hoodie. That's a bad deals only, dude. That could be the slogan, dude.
I like that.
Or we need that in like a hardwired into a button. And he just drop it. Yeah. So check this out. So list this property. Property's tenanted. Have a busy open house. Buyer comes to the open house, multiple buyers, and no mention of a realtor. And we engage with them. One of our other agents who was at the open house engages with them on a good level and starts doing some follow-up post-open house. It's very clear they express intent and might want to make an offer. So my listing contracts allow me to share details with my clients in regards to the listing contracts. So we embark on, trying, hey, do you want to write an offer? Like you got to be around this number and we can make this happen. Okay. So
open negotiating.
So those buyers want to come back and see the property. So 2 more times, one of our realtors went and showed the property to these people. Okay. And they want to make an offer. They say, I got to call my realtor. What? Interesting.
I'm right here.
Yeah. So I was just a listing agent on this. So I wasn't even involved in any of this, to be clear. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. We've showed you this property multiple times now. So I hit an inflection point, which I've since maybe reneged on my POV, and it's a coaching opportunity for myself because Can
I ask a quick question?
Sure.
When you hear that, obviously anyone hearing that story is like, well, I'm annoyed that I didn't know about it. But are we more annoyed about the time your team wasted?
Yeah.
Or the fact that like it might change the deal with your seller and compensation and all that stuff?
I'm going to try and answer your question appropriately.
Okay.
I'm annoyed because I work 7 days a week. So do these agents. They're all working very hard. We know the product and we know what we're doing. So because I sign my clients, like we just talked about, and we have exclusive contracts, and we have like the contract's really clear, and we give them cards on like what to do at open houses. It's just frustrating when all of a sudden we did all the work that the buyer's agent would do to answer all the questions, go back multiple times. Like we used to call this procuring clause. Or you're not used to, but
procuring costs, yes. So like if you didn't have something in writing as an agent,
we procure the buyer.
It would be tough for another agent to come in and say that they're due a commission based off of MLS because they did not actually bring the buyer and put a deal together.
That's correct. Yeah. So rewind pre-decoupling and
It was like 18 months ago.
yeah. Like I would have felt very good at being like, hey, buyer's agent, so sad. Too bad, so sad.
Much easier in that world.
For sure. And hey, you didn't do anything here. Sorry, but like if your client wants this property, they can use our realtor.
Another quick question.
Yeah.
Are there any listings you have, reference listing, where you're automatically offering a co-broke?
No, every single listing contract that we have has zero compensation due to the buyer's agent.
Got it. So everyone knows
Nick, you can go kick the heat on if you want to kick the heat on.
It's a negotiation with that offer when it comes in.
Yeah. And all the offer forms changed and they have that in there and we're not dealing with it at all. But by the way, I'm very clear with my sellers that I expect there to be one and it's on the net sheet and they're signing net sheets.
Got it.
Okay. So this is not a bait and switch on my part.
No, I wasn't thinking that, but I
think that's happening.
Like how sellers were going to prepare themselves for the range.
So I think, and listen, I've never shoved someone on the railroad tracks because I think it's bad business and it's bad karma. And if that person is really working with their agent, I probably would have been very passive about it years ago. But I think in this scenario, it was the scenario where we could have push that person out. Okay. Sure. So, and I told my agent, I said, hey, I'm really sorry, but the right thing to do for the seller is to just let them proceed because they want to write an offer on the property and I don't know what it is yet. So whatever, they wrote a great offer on the property.
From an agent, from
their realtor. Okay. And we ended up taking it.
Okay.
Okay. So, proceed to negotiation, which I won't get into too much. But I think we prevailed in the favor of our seller on that one. Huge negotiation inspection. They asked for almost $100,000 in repairs, which is ridiculous, by the way. Some of which was just like, well, the house has old siding, the furnace is is old. I said, we walked through your clients on several visits when you weren't there, by the way, all of these things. And this is why you should not be a part-time realtor and go see the house before you write an offer, because he almost was adding, fuel to the fire on the buyer's behalf here, trying to negotiate these things that we were very clear we would not negotiate with anybody. Home is sold as is, and furnace works fine. Exactly, yeah. And got multiple offers and went over asking. Okay, so we're not doing it. We'll just kill the deal and we'll go to the other buyer. They came back. We gave them a small credit and they proceeded. Right. Okay. So they asked for 100. We're like, hey, here's a couple thousand. And they were like, okay, cool. Okay. Crazy. Bad negotiation on their part. Great on our part. Yeah. So it gets all the way to the end. And
closing.
Yeah. Final walkthrough.
There's tenants there.
Hold on.
Forgot about these guys.
Hold on. Super frustrating final walkthrough, by the way. Last minute.
Both tenants are still there at the final walkthrough?
This is what really happened. Hey, we'd like to come Monday, but we need to be there for 8 hours. Okay, now the tenant has moved out at this point. So the house is, the house is vacant. Just to summarize. I said, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, we have to be there for 8 hours. I said, first off, this is the blizzard. It was Sunday to Monday. Remember that?
Yeah.
70 feet of snow outside. And I said, hey, I don't know if you realize this, but is a state of emergency, a parking ban. This is a bad idea. I get that you want to bring in your contractor to see the house again, and you, I don't know, need to measure everything with
one other
ruler.
Detail. Monday is in relation to closing. When is closing?
3 days. Or no, 4 days out.
Oh, so contractor could easily come in 4 days. Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I already had 3 or 4 visits, all of which were very long. Okay. And we were just fine. Okay. And so we get to the point I said, hey, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And usually oh, you want to get ready? This will be a good one.
What do you got?
Hey.
A few moments later.
Thanks, Seth.
All right.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Cheers. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
Let's toss a cha-ching in there, producer Nick. That was well done.
Go.
Well done. Look at that good news here.
I love that.
Well done. So this is an expired listing you're taking over?
Another realtor referred me waterfront property in Nahant.
Excellent.
It's been on the market for a couple
years. Our boy Brendan, does he live close by? Does he know these people?
I'm sure, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. So the other realtor was like, hey, I think you need a fresh set of eyes and recommended me. Which is cool.
So it's an amicable split.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's dope.
Very
Let's
nice.
go.
Congrats.
Let's go.
Congrats.
So if you know anybody who's looking for a waterfront property, 3-bed, 2-bath, right in the sand,
What's our price point?
1-1.
That seems reasonable. Hey, Missouri Nick could move there.
There you go, dude. We got it. You know, no yard, but you could have the sand. You could have
Kids
the
can't
sand.
swim. They're from Missouri.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, tough break. We'll get you some floaties.
I like it. I'm in.
All right, geez. What were we talking about?
We were in your deal.
Okay, so-
we're at the
So
8-hour final walkthrough.
So I basically was like, hey, we're not doing that. Okay. And very rarely do I like to get my client involved unless I have to get them involved. I'm acting in their best interest. Right. So I actually called my client. I go, hey, I'm calling you because I have to. I just want to make sure like this is the deal. Like, when are you planning on shoveling tomorrow? He's like, are you serious? Like I'm like, yeah, this is happening. He's like, I am not comfortable with anybody on that property tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to get to
it's a safety hazard.
That's what he said. So we said no. I got a bunch of attitude. He's like, I'm not asking. I'm telling you we're doing this. And I said, I don't think you understand how this works. It's not your property. No. And so anyway, it got rescheduled to Wednesday.
Attorney Nick would have set that straight pretty quick.
I was not happy. So it got rescheduled. And a little bit before the appointment where our broker's going over to turn the key and let them in for the final walkthrough. House, by the way, deep clean, professionally cleaned. Any remaining junk items were removed from the tenant on our behalf. We
Awesome.
paid,
Great.
like, clean this place up. So this place
the
was
right thing,
pristine,
yeah.
pristine for these people. The broker said he's going to be a little late. And we're like, okay, like, well, we can meet them there. It's not a big deal. Never showed up.
Sounds like the MO of this broker.
Never showed up. They were there for 7 hours.
No.
Yep.
What do you do? I don't even know what you're doing.
So I was doing something like that, busy.
I haven't been to a bunch of final walkthroughs, but I've been to a few.
5 minutes. In and out, check the cabinets, check the water. We're good. Thanks so much. See you next time. Okay. And they were there. I felt so bad because, I think
They were checking like hide and seek locations and stuff. Like they're just making sure everything worked out.
I think
like
they redesigned the whole house. I think they actually demoed the whole house, rebuilt the house, but by the final, I don't know. But I felt bad because I was super busy that day and out of appointments. So it's like 3 hours later, I was like, we're still here. I go, hey, you need to tell them the final walkthrough's over. And
well, 7 hours. That's like not like a, hey, it took 15 minutes. I didn't make it in time. Like,
I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating by an hour. This is bad. So,
and no third parties there. They didn't have a contract or anything. Just
several contractors came. Yeah,
I would have kiboshed that. I think that's not the time.
Yeah, I would have as well. But I think our agent took the high road. And
no, I mean, we're talk about being reasonable.
Saint. I would have hit the roof. So then it was, hey, there's a microwave missing. Microwave that was missing. Does this ring a bell yet?
I do remember this.
Yeah,
I think this is not a built-in microwave.
That's correct.
It was a
countertop.
Yeah, it was a
countertop microwave.
I equate it to a toaster.
It was a toaster. Yeah, the toaster was missing. So we said it was the tenants. And they said, well, it was in the purchase and sales contract. And I said, yeah, but I don't have it in front of me, but it probably also says like free of any owners or tenants' belongings.
Correct.
Like wasn't ours to convey the easy bake oven.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this went on for 24 hours and then the property closed, and that was months ago now. Hold on. I got to read you a message.
They're still here? Is it from the broker? I finally got to the walkthrough.
Oh my God. That was a good one, dude. That was a good one. Ready? I didn't answer this message yet. This is my answer right now. Okay.
Okay. What do we got?
Hey, Seth.
This is the broker or the buyer?
Yeah. This is at 10:37 PM last night.
But the agent. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I was asleep.
As you should have been.
Hey, Seth. I was actually with Claude. Hey, Seth.
diving.
Hope you're doing well. Regarding address, I tried following up with broker about the toaster. Haven't heard anything. Evidently, the toaster was supposed to come with the property. Can the seller please replace the toaster? This is last night. Okay. Second message. Otherwise, a Home Depot gift card for $150 is fine. Let me know.
Okay. So I think we can't be, we want to go right to snarky. Well, we won't do that. I think we have to go.
I was still in unanswered.
I think we have to do the thank you for the message. I was aware of this at the final walkthrough. We explained to your clients that was tenant's property and not going to be conveyed.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to deliver a microwave. But I do think if you supply them with a gift card, they would be extremely happy about that.
That's such a great answer. That's the answer, guys. That's the answer to the great debate of the toaster of 2026.
That's nuts.
This is what I'm dealing with. So I actually was thinking that, the nice thing to do is clienteling. Maybe we could go pop.
Can I clip that? Can I make a clip out of that?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. This is ridiculous shit, dude. This
The
is
only other
ridiculous
thing,
shit. Like, dude, with all due respect, you didn't do anything.
In old school Seth, though, do we just go to like Goodwill right now and find the worst microwave ever and just drop it off?
You didn't do your job here, and he got paid.
Oh no!
He got paid. They should make $20,000.
He should go buy a brand new, amazing microwave and plug it in. And install.
He should buy them new cabinets.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is ridiculous. This is insane. So and it's unfortunate because this person is now going to be a lifelong resident in the community that I live in, and I feel bad that they were misrepresented through this transaction, and they're probably also mad at me about it, which is even worse. And so I told my team, like, we're gonna get to it, but like I think what we should do is go do a pop by with a more than $150 gift card and a basket and make sure that they absolutely loved their experience and apologized for their terrible agent. But I don't know how passive aggressive that is.
No, I think calling it because again, you kind of had a relationship outside of the agent the entire time.
Yeah. So even better to put a pin in it. I called the Massachusetts broker for real. Shout out Justin, always taking my phone calls.
Probably a lot of phone calls, Justin. If I know that. Was that the first or last phone call you'll be getting?
Yeah, he might be sick of me, but we're a top producing team here in Massachusetts, so Justin takes my calls. I said, hey, I have a interesting hypothetical. And I explained the whole scenario as I explained it with complete factual timeline. And I said, do you think this broker is entitled to compensation? Because I
think in the new world, if they submit the offer and they put the compensation in, like, yes, like you don't have to do anything anymore. Like procuring cause is no longer but again, I kind of agree with Nar that like we probably shouldn't have just been putting in this 2.5% random commission. And you could have went to yourselves and been like, hey, just so you're aware, you have to pay 2.5% to this person. We showed them we did this. So my suggestion would be if you don't like the price, we might be able to get there by reducing the commission based on the volume of work that they did.
So Justin and I had a great conversation for about 30 minutes, which started in Old World. Old World,
you win that argument, I think, every time.
Yep. So Old World, you say, hey, just to let you know, you guys didn't do crap. We're going to pay you 0.5 point, 1%.
Or buyer pays you.
You owe us a referral, but this thing's not happening anymore because it's cooperating compensation, and you could stonewall that person. And in New World, you're spot on. Procuring clause, all that stuff out the door. And part of the reason of my hesitation of not even wanting to get involved with being their agent and starting that conversation at the genesis of this deal was at the end of the day, I don't know if we had a buyer agency agreement, and I was unclear in the moment of where did our duty stop as the seller's agent and begin as the buyer's agent. They thought you were
just really nice seller's agents.
Yeah, which were like, we were just doing the right thing. Yeah. But the reality is that private showings outside of an open house, should we have got a showing agreement potentially? Should we have made our intent clearer? Should we have asked better questions about, hey, before we do this, we do need to have a 1-page contract to show the property. If you have an agent, we can't show it to you.
I play it the same way you did, but in hindsight, obviously you change it, but
in hindsight, we will change it.
But you kind of become a psychopath if they're like, I just want to see it again. I saw it. Sign this document. Yeah. It's not how I know you approach business. Yeah. You're more of a looking in the eyes handshake guy.
Yeah. So again, being a good business person and making sure we had the best interest of the seller, we're like, yeah, okay, whatever, this is fine. Sure. And we won in that negotiation. And I think more than paid than what we had to in additional compensation. But like, so yeah, the thing is I could have, and he was like, listen, if you want, you can call your client and tell him what happened. And he might not be comfortable still paying that commission, and you guys can, create a big deal out of it. And listen, at the end of the day, that would have meant I would have had to call my client a few days before closing and stress them out about maybe trying to save money just for this. It's not like I was going to make more money. It's just someone was going to make less. I was going to make a big deal about nothing. And at the end of the day, we just let the whole thing slide. And then that text was just the cream of the crop. So nice job, brother.
But it's also funny because like, you saying it that way, like the two other reasonable people in the room were like, oh, I totally get what that means. Like that person who texted you is an unreasonable person because like you would never send that text, like, or you shouldn't send any text professionally of which you wouldn't want to receive. Well, you should go by that moniker.
Yeah. Let's back up. Here's the problem. Not going to the final walkthrough. Right. And letting a problem become a bigger problem because they lacked representation, and then probably were frustrated with our answer.
Sure.
And then reading the contract and just saying, well, the microwave says it's included. What should have happened has been like, hey, remember, like if I was the buyer's agent, I was there. Hey, Nick, remember like when we saw this, like it was tenanted and there was like tenant stuff everywhere. More than likely it was just the tenants. It was a countertop one because this has a hood. And so that could be very much just not part of the seller's property, especially because they weren't living here. And so now that it's gone, like you can't convey something that wasn't theirs. And so,
then really quick, it goes to, I'll take care of you.
And at this point, like if you want to make it a big deal, like I get it. It's kind of a misunderstanding in the contract. These things happen. They're really long. Like, you know what? Closing gift, you pick the microwave.
Sure.
I got you.
Of course.
Done.
Of course.
And great experience. But
they end happy. Yes.
But unfortunately now, I have to procure a gift card if I was too busy to buy them a microwave.
It's a crazy experience, but I do think now too instantly you're winning a deal because now they've been able to see both sides of a bad broker and a good broker.
Yuck.
Okay, I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Should we go to the Reddit, or should we just rip to? We should just rip to overrated, underrated.
It's
2:30. Rip it.
You never finished up the first one.
I know. I just went and told my own shitty deal.
Yeah. We can do the jack up the price. I'll do a quick one on that.
I think we finished that. Just started over.
Because that could be some legal stuff. I could give my opinion on.
Hold on. Let me pull up the full story here. Hi everyone. I could really use some advice in life. No. I want to share my recent home buying roller coaster. My closing is in just 3 days. And today my realtor told me that the seller is suddenly increasing our purchase price by $7,000. Here's the situation. You have a bad realtor. That's the situation. This is ridiculous.
That call never should have happened.
Yeah. I'd be like, nope, there's a contract for this. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. See you in 3 days.
Things you don't tell your client for $500. Jesus Christ. So we originally offered $650 on this property. The sellers then asked all buyers to submit new offers. So like a highest and best. We included an escalation clause saying we'd go up to $680,000 if someone offered more than $650. If you don't know what an escalation clause is, this is basically like eBay. I'll pay X more than the other offer.
Max bid.
Yeah, but you have to provide what they call a bona fide offer, and it should be redacted, kind of showing, hey, this actually happened. And then usually you execute an addendum, or what most lazy agents do is they just rewrite that new offer, and then that gets inked.
Yes,
right.
Correct.
But there is like a 2-page addendum. I honestly am more of the lazy guy.
But remember, we're a 2-contract state. They might have been going right to P&S, which is a little bit different too.
Very, very true. Yeah. So the seller accepted another buyer's offer and then declined ours. 3 days later, the seller came back and said the other buyer backed down and accepted our offer. Realtor told us that the price was $650. Now, just days before closing, the seller claims the price should be $657 because of our escalation clause saying that we pay $7,000 more than another offer. And my question, can the seller legally raise the price at the end after we've both signed a purchase agreement? What should I do next? I always thought that once both parties signed the purchase agreement, the price is locked in until both sides agree to do a change. Has anyone else been in a similar situation? Any advice or insight would be helpful. Edit. A little update here. I told my realtor the purchase agreement stated $650 and the escalation clause only applies before acceptance and is no longer in effect. My realtor came back, but if $655 was the offer, and it was dated before X, our acceptance then he's got us, which it was.
So
So nope, you got to sign contract. Bye.
Sign contract, buy. Now, the only claim that the seller has, and I would hate to be in front of a judge trying to give this, is it was a Scrivener's error. We told them it was six.
That's a legal term, yeah.
We wrote it in wrong.
Who is Scrivener?
He was a guy who wrote bad things, incorrect things. He had poor penmanship, and we had to keep rewriting his stuff over because we couldn't read it.
Got it.
So basically, their claim is when we said 650, that was the baseline of which you were supposed to be paying more on. However, their offer, I'm guessing, had an expiration. So they would have to have you submit a new offer with the escalation clause because you already said we're not moving forward. Right. So the offer I submitted is not good for eternity. It's good for a time certain. Right. So now we're starting fresh. Even though you knew I had the ability to pay up to $680 or whatever it was, you told me put $650 on a piece of paper. So our understanding was either you were comfortable with $650 or the other offer was $643. We're not supposed to assume that we have to write a new offer and have our old terms come into play because circumstances have changed.
Yeah. And you know what's funny too is like I do find that sometimes this happens in the game where like realtors just excited. Hey Nick, good news. That deal fell apart. You can still get this. Oh, what's the price? And like maybe we didn't talk about it, but the agent who called me just said, "Hey, if your offer is still valid, like we'll take it." Like probably was the best opportunity to talk about maybe I don't know the price then.
But again, like it doesn't sound like they kind of did like the hey a DocuSign came over and like no one read it and it had like the offer terms still in it. Like it sounded like they entered into a purchase agreement like we would here in Massachusetts, and that's the time where like the seller should have been like, you know what, that number looks incorrect because again that offer died at some point. That offer, So how many offers have you written that were not accepted?
God, countless.
So it's like
all my offers get accepted, Nick.
So you're telling me if your buyer ended up getting the deal in place, they don't go back to your old offer. You're writing something new again.
Yeah, I mean, almost always,
or editing something on there.
Yeah, you'd have to resubmit. Sometimes, like I play the, hey, I'm not going back to my client with this,
sure,
because next thing you know, you called 3 other people. I redraft. I get my client back on the hook just to crush their dreams again. So I say, hey, Nick, if that's really the deal, do me a favor, scratch up the offer I sent you, give it the old initial, send it to me with the signed seller's name on it, and I will get my clients on board. They will be in.
Love that.
And then I call my clients, say, hey, guys, good news. I got the offer signed. And they're like, holy shit, what? Versus the roller coaster, because I've done that. And then they say, hey, you wouldn't believe it, but someone else called me who also wrote on it. And I told them and they wrote another 30 grand. So we're just going to take that. And I go, dude, I'm like, and there's nothing I can do.
Zero. You're right.
And now what happens? My clients want to shoot me in the freaking head because I brought this back to them.
Not great.
It's like, hey, Grammy's actually not dead. Oh, dead. Sorry, my bad.
Not going to make it a Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, you can't do that.
We can pull that chair right out.
So maybe dark analogy, but this doesn't happen. This is very weird. And I guess at the end of the day, contract's a contract. What? The seller could refuse to sign the deed, and we're
not going to look great. On the fact pattern doesn't look great. You could get way more like general in the fact pattern of like, hey, we were the only offer. Like the back and forth. So like our offer is still valid,
right?
But in the P&S they wrote in a number that was not the 7,000 over.
Right.
Now we actually have a dispute. We have this material term that was negotiated, valid at the time that P&S was done. It was copied over incorrectly. This is just a kind of a renegotiating or poor communication from the broker at the beginning that was missed in multiple steps. Not going to happen.
Yeah, so silly. I hate it. I just don't, for me too, if I was ever in that scenario in Massachusetts, I would just be like, okay, well, we're not going anywhere. So I guess I'll just wait. And hey, buyer, we have to extend. So like, we're just going to sit here, I guess, indefinitely until you make up your mind. And eventually I think the seller is going to cave off that $7,000. As long as the buyer is not like idling in the moving truck at the house or something like that.
No, I think what you do, in Massachusetts,
I would never tell my client to pay an extra $7,000.
Yeah, in Massachusetts, we always want to have buyer not default. So we would take the closing date, we would get their money in, We would tell the
Be
lender
ready to perform.
Yeah, we would tell the lender to send the package, or we'd say we're with the terms we use, ready, willing, and able to perform. Show all that goodwill.
Yeah.
So now the ball is completely in their court. They're really double down on the 7K.
Yeah. Next week we got to talk. We should tell the fence story.
Oh yeah, I still got some great ones on my phone.
Yeah.
Some crazy ones.
Yeah, I think we can start airing out some laundry now.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. All right, quick underrated, overrated. You ready?
Claude versus ChatGPT.
Dude. You haven't used Claude yet.
Have not. I've used ChatGPT once, so I don't know.
Okay, so we're gonna have to have a whole special episode
We can
about
do
Claude.
it. We can do a Teach Nick technology special.
Claude is nuts. All right, so Claude, first off, ChatGPT, like I told you, homeless bum who got kicked out of college. Claude, Harvard level physics professor,
and worked his way. This was no DEI Harvard. This is like worked his way here.
Started at the bottom. Now we're here.
Yes.
Okay, so Claude connects to a lot of stuff. Okay,
I heard Excel was your big.
No, Claude connects to my email, my calendar. It can browse the web.
We just heard Seth's admin crying in the background. That's the machines have taken over, folks.
Not yet. There's still time, guys. But as an example, I was like, I've been meaning to get some nice show notes together for our show.
That does
here.
look amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Thank Claude for that. So I said, hey, Claude, coming up here shortly, I have my podcast coming up. And we follow a very basic show format, which is, intro and catch up. We get into the bad deals and then we do underrated, overrated. So by the way, I need you to go into Reddit and find a couple bad deals for me. Give me,
that might have been one of the better bad deals we found too.
That's
pretty good.
Fucking Nick couldn't do it, dude. This poor guy.
Nick has a skill set and Reddit is not one of them.
I'm going to download Claude right
Dude, it's next level. So I said, pull 3 deals. By the way, I want you to find them where they're like trashing their realtor or they had a problem with their realtor. I want to know. I want like really some good ones. And then any like quick hits on, what's going on in the market. Give me some quick notes there. And then, by the way, find some underrated, overrated for me. I always like to keep it a little bit general around the holiday.
Seasonal.
Yeah, seasonal. So like we haven't done one-on-one. So maybe something like St. Patty's Day would be a good one we could talk about. Yeah. And I was like, and then make it like in a reference branded document for me in a PDF, 1-pager only, so I can print it out for the guys. So Claude starts doing its thing. It's like, oh yeah, I see.
How long does this take?
This took 3 minutes.
Okay.
Because it actually did some thinking. So I went into my calendar and said, oh yeah, I saw, and it said this. He goes, oh yeah, I see you have a podcast coming up, Bad Deals Only, at 1:00 with the 2 Nicks.
I love that.
And one take, it spits out this bad boy.
It's amazing.
And I was like, I've been meaning to do this.
With like the highlights and stuff and like the header. It looks great. It looks great. It looks fantastic.
Nick, you should be worried about this, brother. Underrated, overrated from Claude. Real easy one off the rip. St. Patty's Day Parade in Southie. It said that Southie in parentheses. It knew.
Amazing. Now, 42-year-old Nick or in general?
Oh my God. Just give me the in general. You're saying it's underrated?
You can have an amazing Patty Day experience. However, if you are looking for like, you don't know anyone there, you just Googled things to do this weekend and you head on to West Broadway, you are in for a bad time.
Wow. So if you had to pick just a crisp Nick Nardone, I'll let you go current day and past.
Sure.
Current day overrated.
Oh, way overrated. But in the 26-year-old Nick
underrated?
Nardone living in Southie, knowing 8 million people with houses on the parade route, like underrated. Like
you're kidding me.
It's a personality almost. It takes over. You got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like you got 3 different house parties to go to. Oh yeah, we had some good times.
The fact that you would never in a million years do Times Square. They're on the same vein to me. I don't want to be anywhere near a parade.
So I can give you all the differences right now. So one, I don't live in Times Square. I lived in Southie for 15 years.
Okay.
You can go individual houses. You can have as laid back. I've been where like kids are getting face paint in the backyard to where people got thrown off a deck. Like I've had real different experiences.
Okay.
Keg parties to the parade. Like the parade is kind of just going on. Patty's Day and the parade day is a vibe.
So the first time I thought you slipped up and just called it Patty's Day, but you just doubled down on that. That's what you're calling it. It's not St. Patty's Day.
I just say Patty's Day.
I've never heard that.
And actually, technically, it's not even the St. Patrick's Day parade. We're celebrating the day the British evacuated Boston.
Evacuation Day.
So that's why the 17th of March is not St. Patrick's Day here in Boston. It is Evacuation Day. And Suffolk County is all closed. Municipal offices and courthouses. The Registry of Deeds don't try to close on that day.
Really?
Yeah.
It was closed yesterday?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Only Suffolk County.
For me, man, it is overrated. I, even as a diehard Bruins guy, skipped every parade, Celtics parade, Patriots parade.
Those are overrated. This is a community
I don't
thing.
want to be at a parade, period.
This is like I wouldn't go to Bunker Hill Day, but if you live in Charlestown, it's a vibe. Like you have barbecues and all the stuff going on. Like it's I went to the first Patriots parade, never went to another one because it is extremely over. It's disaster. There's no porta potties, there's no food, there's nowhere to stand. It's freezing cold. St. Patrick's Day, South Boston, Parade Day is awesome if you have a Sherpa to bring you through it.
My St. Patty's Day preferred experience, again, also now not being executed, but we used to just go to Back Bay. We would hit Boylston Street.
Okay.
And we would saddle into McGreevy's back in the day.
Great, good bar.
You know,
Dropkick Murphy's. Yeah.
R.I.P. McGreevy's. I don't know what, I think it's a gay bar now.
No. That is Poorhouse now is a choose your own adventure gender bar.
I don't know what McGreevy's is now, but rest in peace, McGreevy's. We miss you. We would just sit there. We'd go at like 10 in the morning.
Solus down the street was good too. That closed out at the Lennox Hotel there. That was nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did like the Lennox.
Yeah, it's a new restaurant, but no longer Solus.
We would do McGreevy's, then we would hop over to Lear.
Lear's a great spot. Great spot.
R.I.P. the Lear. And then we would hit up Whiskey's. I think it's a bank now. I'm just showing my age.
I believe it's a bank, yes.
But that was we did the bar crawl.
You didn't have to go very far. You went 50 yards.
But we got there so early that we had good real estate at the bar, and that was it. It was great. And one of our buddies, age-old trick,
and
by
real
the
quick,
way.
did you say that was Parade Day or that was March 17th?
That was St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
Yeah. Patty's Day. Yuck.
Okay.
And one of our buddies was like 6'7", and he would always just... I hate my life. Why have our kids done this to us? I can't believe that just happened. I saw it in your eye, dude.
You're like, hey, guy could have been 6'6". I don't know why.
He might be 6'8".
None of us know him, so
we would just always pretend like he was a pro basketball player there on a journey.
Hell yeah,
it was a good time. Shout out PK. All right, March Madness.
I'm kind of overrated on that.
Is that on? Is it going on?
It starts on Friday.
Wow.
I'm kind of
overrated.
I'm kind of overrated on that, and only because it used to be like you had to kind of be a basketball fan. Everyone was into it. Now it's like your wife beats you in the bracket because she has ChatGPT or Claude do it for her, and it's just annoying. So
I bet you I could get Claude to do a good bracket.
I don't see why not. Claude's putting a roof on your house next weekend.
ChatGPT would just start asking you 30 follow-up questions. Who's in it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So, and I feel like the coverage isn't as good.
Who's March Madness?
And if I truly had to give a detailed answer, I would say the first weekend is awesome. There's basketball every 2 seconds. There's upsets. But then you get down, you're like, oh, the 3 number 1s and 1 number 2 are in the final 4. Like, got it.
Never done a bracket in my life.
Oh, I like the bracket just because it keeps me paying attention to it a little bit. But that's about it.
I bet you I could. Nobody's going to ask me if I want a bracket anymore because I've been turning them down for 20 years. But this would be the year that I would feel confident about doing one because Claude would do it for me. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you should just do one to promote Claude.
I'm going to do it. I think I will do that. Yeah. That'll be a good idea. All right. What about coming soon listings? So just to be clear, there's a lot of drama going on right now.
I saw
Zillow
and Remax.
No, it's
Keller.
It's Red. Yeah. So Redfin is now allowed to put Redfin has coming soon listings. Maybe I'm fucking all of this up. There's companies putting coming soon listings on Zillow.
Compass has their own internal coming soons. Other ones are these other ones.
Compass listings can go on Redfin coming soon. That's what it is.
My whole thing is, have we forgotten our duty to the client? So what is best for the client? Because I think if you're trying to just sell it to a broker in your office, that probably isn't the open market that might be the best place to sell. So I actually would do hey guys, remember NAR? I think they're going to double down and they're going to go, you need to disclose this to your seller in black and white and say, not everyone on the planet is seeing this. This is a curated hidden vision board for X amount of people, and we hope that gets you what you want.
There is disclosures for this that no one is executing. Well, 100, I can tell you that 100%.
But I just
there's
think
deferred listings, there's private
Seth,
listings.
I think right now no one cares because the market's great. I think
to make a great point.
The second stuff stops selling and people are getting frustrated, it's like, why didn't it sell? And this is going to be some of the rationale. It's sure it's driving up corporate value, because you want to own the Rolodex. But what brokers don't understand is those big people are owning the Rolodex. So when the call comes in, they're going to be the procuring cause. Instead of getting your 90%, you're going to get 10. So it looks cool now. It's not going to be a selling point in the next few years.
Damn. Hot take. April Fool's Day.
That is, you're a fool if you believe what Seth just said. That's not a good thing.
No. I was pivoting. Underrated, overrated. April Fool's Day.
The Flag Day is better. Earth Day is better. Arbophobia or philia, whatever we talked about, better day. April Fool's Day, when Google, it says it's called Foogle or they sold. It's the silliest thing.
When was the last time you Googled something?
I use Google daily.
Still?
Yeah, what should I be using? Claude? Claude's killing Google?
I think ChatGPT killed Google.
Oh, I'm a Google guy. I'm not saying that Google's AI doesn't come in, but I just Google because I'm old, I guess.
Just for old time's sake, I'll pop in a good old ChatGPT and ask it a question here live.
Do you want to hear a bad experience I had last year?
Did you see Sirhan's video, by the way? I haven't watched it yet.
Which one?
Go ahead. Tell me. Is this about ChatGPT or Google?
April Fool's Day.
Oh, double rewind. Yeah, go ahead.
My lovely sister-in-law, who's just turned 30, she's a dentist, very sweet, not big joker, not a practical joker, not that type of person. Her cousin, who she's very close with, is also a dentist in Florida. The cousin played an April Fool's joke on my sister-in-law, showed her a letter from a patient stating that she did irreparable harm in her mouth on the dental work and she was going to be sued. My lovely sister-in-law sends it to me as her experienced lawyer brother-in-law. I go, she must be feeling terrible. She's a dentist for a year. Like this month, I write a kick-ass response took me some time to write. I send it to my sister-in-law and she's like, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. She sends it to her cousin and her cousin's like, that was totally fake. I didn't do anything. My wife had to call me because she's like, Joanne thinks you're going to murder her. So she's so sorry she didn't know about this tell me all the story.
You probably hit the roof.
I was more like she was an innocent bystander in the thing. You had to blame the cousin, and it was all in jest. But I'm like, you guys joke about the silliest. You joke about lawsuits. You're supposed to be like, hey,
that's a pretty good one though.
Yeah, it worked. Hook, line, and sinker on me.
I actually. Nothing to do with April Fool's Day, but
it's supposed to be the Celtics are switching to red today.
I just had my buddy play a very good joke on me.
He played it a month early. He played it so early.
He did. And if I had the fortitude to play this joke on somebody, I just want to let you know I would never ever let it go, and I would keep instigating and realizing that you didn't realize I was joking for 4 weeks. He sent me, how I told you I had that attendant issue recently, right?
Yes.
He shared with me a Facebook post that was authentic. However, he had doctored the comments and emojis and reactions to those comments to make it look like the landlord was so wrong, did all this wrong stuff and screwed up this.
How do you even do that stuff? Does Claude do that too?
Yes. So he's still using ChatGPT and ChatGPT can even do it. So he sent it to me. I go, dude, you have to be fucking kidding me. I hit the roof. I was pissed. And I spent 40 minutes trying to find, there was hundreds of comments on this post. And I read it. I go, dude, I finally went back. I go, dude, can you, it's actually Eric's brother.
He owns you.
And I go, dude, can you send me that post? I can't find this comment. He goes, dude, I made that. And I go, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, yeah, it was AI. I go, what do you? I like still didn't fucking get it. And he sent me the prompt in ChatGPT where he's like, hey, can you change this comment to this comment and then add a ton of angry emojis and like make it look like it's the landlord's fault? And I was like, dude, that's amazing. I was so pumped. He said,
You would have had me going forever. I was like, ChatGPT can't do that.
I'm disappointed you told me about it. I would have just started sending more comments.
More, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, dude.
Seth, the reason you can't see is they blocked you. They know you're a landlord.
He goes, he's like, you're right. I should have stuck with it. I go, dude, I never would have told you if that was me. So Brian, you had me, and I'm disappointed you cut bait on it.
Amazing.
But yeah, don't know more April Fool's jokes because
don't play them on me, please.
It's getting.
I'm not gullible. I'm
real,
professional. Dude. If you bring a legal matter to me, I'm going to solve it regardless of the day.
Oh my God, this might have to be a 2-part pod just to make up for the break. This is a long one.
We crushed it.
We did crush it.
A lot of info there.
Another episode of Bad Deals Only.
And hey, we made some money today. Seth got a listing on air.
That's it. Let's go.
Thanks for listening to the Bad Deals Only podcast. If you like this content, share it with a friend or a family member or somebody in the industry, and subscribe and share.